TV from infinite universes. Look.
Hello, welcome back to a new video. You're watching Red Beanie TV. This is Daniel, and let's just jump right in. Little Nightmares is a game I love. In fact, I love it so much, I got my girlfriend to play it. And she loved it so much, it's now her favorite game. And what do you do when you have a YouTube channel and you love a piece of media so intensely you could live in a cocoon consuming it for centuries on end? You make a video about it. So here's why I love Little Nightmares and why you should play it if you haven't already. Little Nightmares is an indie title released in 2017 to a decent amount of success. It won some awards and was reviewed by top blogs, but I haven't really seen it gain popularity outside of the indie game community and its very small cult fanbase. Which is kind of a bummer because this game deserves so much more recognition. To give you an idea of the gameplay, it's very similar to games like Limbo or Inside, where you traverse through a very unsettling world, solving various puzzles which take you further and further down a rabbit hole of horror, encountering danger at every turn. But utilizing the Unreal Engine, Little Nightmares visuals completely blow any game like it out of the water, with a ton more detail put into the environments, the character designs, and not to mention the most glaring difference, the depth of perception. Unlike Limbo, for example, this game is 3D, which opens up a lot more room for creativity, with puzzles and ways to traverse your surroundings. The controls are pretty simple. There's a jump, crouch, sprint, and hold button, as well as a command to open up your lighter so you can see in darker levels. Now, sometimes simplistic gameplay can be a mark against a game, but it works wonders with Little Nightmares. The character you play as, called Six, is a 9-year-old girl who is just absolutely tiny. And due to her stature, everything around her is huge in comparison. So playing with simplistic, dare I say, restrictive controls is a very smart choice on the developer's part, making you feel very small and kind of weak, which leads in nicely to the horror aspect of the game. There is no mistaking that Little Nightmares is a horror game, a good one at that. Because you do feel so frail and you can't fight, you feel pretty helpless with these grotesque humanoids chasing and looking for you. Which leads to some pretty intense moments, mainly with the janitor and the chef twins, which, from the names, don't sound too scary. Until you look at them, my god. The chef twins are a pair of beyond obese siblings who you have to avoid whilst making your way through their kitchen. If they spot you, they'll chase after you, and if you can't outrun them, well then, you're gonna make a pretty tasty meal. And then there's the blind janitor, who is, in my opinion, the standout boss. Due to him being blind, you cannot under any circumstances run or even walk on floorboards, or else he'll know exactly where you are. He has these bandages wrapped around his eyes, leaving only his mouth visible, with his teeth chattering away as he lets out these gaspy breaths, whilst his elongated arms are constantly searching for you, making him pretty difficult to sneak by. Not to mention the various other enemies like the leeches that will squash you to death if they catch you, as well as the guests, who are these disgusting, what I think are people whose only goal in life is just shoveling as much food down their throats as humanly possible and will try to eat you at a moment's glance. It's pretty gross. And then you got others like the granny from the DLC, who is, you guessed it, a granny, who lives under the water of these flooded rooms, meaning if you fall in the water, you best be swimming out ASAP. And then there's even more, like the last boss, but I won't spoil that here. I want you to play it for yourself. Then there's what is one of my favorite aspects of the game, the soundtrack. In my opinion, for a video game soundtrack to be great, it not only has to match the game, but also enhance it. This soundtrack does just that. Little Nightmares teeters the line between being a cutesy fairy tale from a kid's book and a very dark, foreboding horror story, which the soundtrack captures perfectly. utilizing instruments and chord progressions that sound straight out of a child's music box, but with a creepy, ominous slant to it. Then you have tracks that sound like they're straight out of the lonely, forgotten ruins of hell, with these walls of droning sounds, utilizing a lot of low-end frequencies swallowing up the mix. Creating a very suffocating sense of you're trapped and there is no escape. The music just intensifies the atmosphere so much, adding to the list of reasons why this game is such a freaky experience. But that's all I'm gonna say without getting into any spoiler territory. Go play this game if you haven't already. It's constantly on sale, so you'll be able to pick it up somewhere on PC or PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo Switch. I think it's on Google Stadia even. So yeah, go pick it up, play it, and if you've already played it, give me your opinions on it down below. I would love to hear them. If you got this far in the video, I'd like to say thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. And if you would like to, leave a like and maybe subscribe if you would want to do that. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.